I'm Sergei Guriev, Professor of Economics and Provost at Sciences Po. I'm very honored to give a talk at the Central European University as an opening event of 3 lectures. The other 2 will be given by Massimo Marelli and CEU's own Adam Zeidel. My talk is about political economy of populist and hybrid regimes. It's based on a recent survey of political economy of populism that we've written with Elias Papagiannou and my recent book with Daniel Treisman, Spin Dictators, which just came out in Princeton University Press. So in those 2 pieces of work, we talk about the main challenges to democracy today. The populist leaders, populist politicians in democratic countries, and new generation of dictators, whom we call spin dictators, dictators who pretend to be democrats and yet concentrate all the power, eliminate political opposition, eliminate political checks and balances, and while pretending being democrats, remaining autocrats. So we discuss how populists operate, how spin dictators operate. We discuss why now we observe unprecedented rise of populism and this transformation of old-style, fear-based, non-democratic regimes into non-democratic regimes based on manipulation of information. We also discuss how these regimes operate. We also talk about what the West should do about the rise of those challenges to modern liberal democracy. I will also talk about the relationship between the 2. How very often populist politicians in democratic countries aspire to be authoritarian leaders. Sometimes they succeed to subvert democratic political systems into non-democratic spin-based dictatorships. Sometimes they fail, institutional constraints stop them and they exit their office and democracy prevails. I also talk about spin dictators who are not populist, populist leaders who are actually democratic and don't try to undermine democracy. These things are not equivalent to each other, but there is a link. And in order to understand better how to preserve democracy today, we need to understand those regimes. I would also say that it's important to remember that these challenges to democracy are undermining not only democratic institutions and political and civil freedoms, but also economic performance. In the lecture, I talk about the performance of populists while they're in power. I'll also talk about corruption of modern non-democratic regimes. These things are not bugs, they're a feature of challenges to democracy. Democracy today is still the best system. And the very fact that these challengers, both populists and spin dictators, pretend to be democrats, is the best evidence that democracy remains popular, democracy remains sought after. And this is a system that is worth fighting for.